Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. It is 3-3 in Istanbul between Manchester United and Galatasaray. We are here to break it down for you, but honestly, I honestly don't even know what to say. It was...
Can't wait for this.
How on earth have we drawn that game? But
what's the problem? We got out of hell with a point, guys. Come on, let's be positive. We beat Bayern.
Down with that kind of thing.
Hey, I don't know.
I know all the comments are already starting. The comments are already starting. Kev, I mean, how do you sum it up?
It doesn't sound very good, but I'd say I was speechless. But for the sake of this show, the United Stand and the community, it wouldn't be great if I just sat here and said no comment. But I mean, it's absolutely scandalous to go to Galatasaray to twice find yourself in a position where you're 2 goals ahead. The kind of destiny's in your own hand. It was just crazy. I tweeted out earlier, it was like a game of basketball. It was just end-to-end stuff. There was just nothing in the middle for Manchester United. Ten Hag decided to go with Amrabat and Scott McTominay. It was just getting bypassed every single time. You know, at least when Kobe Mainoo come on towards the end, at least he installed that little bit of... He looked a class act, but it's all ifs and buts. Of course, I'm devastated. It's a 3-3 draw in a game that we spoke about before the game that we needed to win. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. I really don't. I've been in so many challenging situations on this programme, and Manchester United should come with a health warning because they're breaking me. I'm at that point. I really am at breaking point. I can't think of many positives. If we needed to go there and get a point, this would have been a great night, but we needed to go there and win. The fact we were in a position twice, a 2-goal lead, to throw it away. And we need to address the elephant in the room because it's happened in the Champions League before. And I've had it, people are saying, Kev, you wanted Onana. There'll be all this talk about bring back David De Gea. I cannot defend it. I cannot defend Onana because the goals, I mean, we're talking about schoolboy stuff. And yes, he's great with his feet, great playing out the back, but at the end of the day, you need to, you know, you pay a goalkeeper to keep, there was nothing on that. You know, the free kick, you can argue, he's not got the right wall in place. All 3 goals you can look at. I don't want to just pin it all on him, but I know that a lot of the community, the comments are going to be going in on him. And you do have to think that if he wasn't in net this evening, we'd have come away with a win.
Well, it's one of them where it's like, if he doesn't make 3 mistakes, we win that game 3-0. Like, and
it's not the first time in the Champions League.
It's not the first time. Yeah, I tweeted out before, and people will say, "Oh, Beth, you wanted Onana." I did want Onana. He got to the final of the Champions League, got 12 clean sheets in the Champions League, and was really good for Inter.
I did as well. I'm not writing him off. Yeah. Certainly not.
He came into Man United, and in the Champions League, he's been horrendous. It's cost us the Champions League. I've said it. It's cost us the Champions League. Yes, of course, you can talk about we don't control games well, and we concede a lot of chances, and yes, we should have scored, especially towards the end of the game. But the fact of the matter is, all them 3 goals are not acceptable to concede as a Man United goalkeeper. They're just not, and it's not the first time it's happened in the Champions League. That's the issue. Yeah. I mean, Double A, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, well, it's one of those, like, you know, we were so complimentary of him on Sunday. Literally on Sunday we were talking about...
I even said we've not been talking about him, so we need to pay him a bit of respect. Yeah. You know, it's like... It's
a good thing we've not had to talk about it, but at the moment, after that performance, I can't hack him.
Don't start. I can't do it. Please don't start.
I was waiting for that one to land.
Please don't.
I can't hack him. You know what I mean? And
oh, wow.
Listen, that second one, I don't have a clue. I'm not a goalkeeper by any stretch of imagination, but I know that when the ball's coming this way, you don't put it that way.
No,
like, it's the basic things he's not doing correct all the time. In big games, really, really big moments. Like, you talk about his Premier League form or whatever, but... we know we want to be competing in the Champions League, and when your keeper is acting the way he's acting and costing us 7 goals he's led at the most since... mistakes have led to 7 goals, the most in the Champions League since 18-19, apparently.
The thing I just cannot get my head round, he makes a mistake like that, yet in the first half, he pivots on the halfway line, plays a ball that probably no other player in our squad could play, plays a beautiful ball out, you know, that stage we're looking, and then how do you go from that to making a mistake?
I'm convinced like we've not actually bought Onana, we've bought Barthez who wears a costume pretending to be Onana, because he reminds me of Fabian Barthez. He does the exact same things all the time. I'm not gonna. You can't just blame Onana. Onana is at fault for some of the goals, but let's look at this team. It's like Faz always says, zoom out and look at everything. This team, I get pelters for this all the time because people don't understand what I'm saying, have the lowest footballing IQ of a team I've ever known. They're not very bright, and they don't understand. How can you be 2-0 up, and then 3-1 up, and allow the team to batter and get back into the game? And they've done it again. They've learnt no lessons from Copenhagen. They're literally the last game in the Champions League. They've learnt no lessons whatsoever.
Would you agree it's the midfield battle?
I'll be honest, I don't blame the rest of the team.
I think it's the whole team.
No, but you can't blame the rest of the team if the team puts us in a position to win.
Bruno give away 2 free kicks.
I know, but you should save them
free kicks are part of the game, bro. You can't blame every free kick.
Yeah, but Bruno did the exact same thing again for the second one. Learn your lesson. Why are you making stupid challenges from behind, right near the box?
Who's responsible to set up a wall for that?
It's not the wall's fault.
I'm saying for that goal, if you're saying that Bruno Fernandes is at fault.
The keeper sets up the wall.
Yeah, but phases of play, you can prevent it before it happens. Before it gets to the free kick, you can prevent it.
That's hypothetical. You can never say, you should have known that the free kick, you should have known to not give away the free kick because they wouldn't have scored. How do you know every free kick's not going to go in?
But you've done the same thing again. You learn your lesson in football. You learn your lesson.
But that's not a lesson you learn. No, it's not, because...
Stop diving in from behind, making silly tackles when you're nowhere near the ball. You can learn to do that.
I understand that, but I'm saying you can't say he's learned his lesson from the first goal because the first goal shouldn't have went in.
Yeah, any
because he gives the free kick away. Because he gives the free kick away.
Any competent keeper should save both of them. Then no one would be talking about Bruno giving away them free
kicks.
No,
of course. I'm not saying that Onana's not blameless, but the team can prevent stupid things happening. They are playing the game.
We don't control games.
I don't blame the team. I'll be honest. I really don't blame the team because, like I said before, literally, if it wasn't for there's rare occasions where there's one individual player that has single-handedly cost us a game, and it is rare. And in this occasion, Onana by himself has cost us the game. Because in my opinion, we were up 2-0. I'm not gonna say comfortable because we went into this game knowing that it's gonna be difficult.
We were never comfortable. We knew
the game was gonna be
even
difficult.
With the 2 goals.
Nobody went into this game thinking, you know what, United's gonna smack them up. But everyone was saying, oh, we're going to hell, we're doing this and whatnot. We knew when we went going into this game, it was gonna be cagey regardless. And even if we were the better team on paper, they were going to make it hard, as in like a physical game. They're going to make it rugged. They're going to look how many yellow cards they were this game.
So at 2-1 and 3-1 then, yeah. I hear what you're saying, and Onana is at fault for the goals, absolutely. So at 2-0 and 3-1, it's not on Onana to shut up shop and to make everything tight. It's not to be so open. That's the team. The team are allowing.
It wasn't as open at 3-1 though, as 3-3. 3-3 was when it really went open.
That second half was that second half was fully open from the get-go. They were both going for the game. Shut up shop, you need to play smarter, and this team continuously don't do it at all. And we can get excited about 3-0 wins at Everton and then get buoyed about what we can see, but then when it comes to the crunch, when it really matters in big games, and we've seen it all Champions League, they bottle it. No, they absolutely bottle it.
Today, though.
I don't think it's a bottle. I genuinely don't think it's. I think we're blaming too many people. I don't think the rest of the team.
But you should all blame as a team.
I think
you should have won 3-0, at least 3-1. If it's one individual that doesn't make mistakes.
You control games. I said this again in the build-up to it, that the midfield battle was going to be key tonight. The reason that game was so open, McTominay and Amrabat, Amrabat starts so good that he gets brought off. That one's backfired. McTominay scored a goal today, but apart from trying to look lively, if you can control, and this pains me to say it, top teams, and I have to include Manchester City in it, let's say Real Madrid, you play against a team like that, top teams like that are not that open. Yeah. It's not a game of basketball where it's end-to-end. They will have a foot in the game where they have 10 minutes possession.
The game with City and Real Madrid last season or 2 seasons ago, that was an open game and City were winning like 3-1.
That's 2 elite teams going at each other.
That's how football works though.
In an elite team.
In them cagey games, it's going to be open.
I guarantee you, if City had played last night against Galatasaray or played tonight, it's not as open as that. No elite team is going there.
City are far better than United.
Well, they are, but that's what I'm saying.
A team like that don't give away 2-goal leads in a situation like that.
Decision making's poor in the team. The decision making is poor.
100% it is.
I mean, when a lot of people criticising Erik ten Hag for the game management at 3-1, I think that is quite harsh. I do think we were I do think
like
Amrabat
the
was doing
subs.
well, but he was on a yellow card. People questioning why he took Garnacho off when he looked the most lively. Obviously, he looked tired as well. Do any of you guys question Erik ten Hag's in-game management today?
No.
I think the subs were mostly needed. I think he brought Martial on to hold the ball up because Højlund was struggling with that a little bit, and we was all commenting on that. I think, like you said, the ref was very card happy against our players, not so much Galatasaray. Amrabat, with that midfield battle, like you say, we were losing that. He could very well get sent off. I think the only one you could question is probably Pellistri. I know Pellistri's now getting a little bit heat because he missed a chance, but you know, that's football.
But this is why we need to look at it. When we step back and look, that last 10 minutes, United did still have chances to win this game.
Yeah.
You know, we did, and that is not Ten Hag's fault. No. You know, that Pellistri has wasted kind of 2 chances. The fact that McTominay, for some reason, thought he'd activated Zinedine McTominay, you know, and thought, I'm going to have a shot here from the edge of the area. You know, Bruno Fernandes at one stage went absolutely mental at the end of that game. And did you say earlier that apparently Bruno said that, choosing the right passes?
Yeah, he said maybe we need to choose to pass instead of shooting too early. Something along those lines.
And there you go. We know what he's alluding to. We know what he's alluding to because there was players in better positions. Yes, when we're watching it on the telly, we've got a better idea and we can see what is going on. But even Garnacho's goal was a thing of beauty because it was pass, pass, pass. But because we're chasing the game at that stage, it was all very erratic. But again, it's just choosing the right moments, playing the right pass. And as time was ticking on, again, we did have chances towards the end to win this, but we haven't won it. So we're in the situation where we are now. And for me, we have no one else to blame except ourselves. I'm not throwing it totally on Onana. You know, this evening, I do think he's made mistakes and that. But as a Champions League kind of campaign, how many times we've been in this situation? We're 2-0 up tonight, and we're certainly not celebrating because it was early on in the game, but you never had really any faith. You know, we were like, and that's the United mentality at the minute. We're like, they'll come back.
Felt the goal coming.
And you knew that once he got one, the crowd would be behind him, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Do you know, people in the chat are asking for me to apologise, but I just want to...
Apologise for what?
This is why I'm about to speak. I'm about to say that why would I apologise for having an opinion? Do you know what I mean? Why would I apologise for an opinion? I can absolutely say Onana's not been good enough so far, but I didn't go and pay that amount of money, bring him to United and choose to play him every game. I admit, I wanted us to get Onana and I did want De Gea to go. Yeah. That was what I wanted, and based on the evidence at the time, that was my opinion. Apologising for something that you believed in is not the right thing to do.
And Beth, this works 2 ways, because on Sunday we did the fan forum, you weren't here, and we were praising Onana. Yeah, you know, Onana did keep us in that game. He made good saves.
Like I'm Erik ten Hag on the sidelines.
Well, the thing is, if you sat here on Sunday, you wouldn't have given it the big one and gone, right, United Stand community, I want everybody now.
I probably would have.
But you wouldn't have said, like, you know, right, everybody, I want an apology. You know, Onana's doing really well, which he has been on a good run of form.
That's the thing, though, it's okay to say that a player's done well, but he's had a terrible game. Just because you have a terrible game doesn't mean your whole season has been horrible. No, he had a horrible game, and I disagree. I think this is because of him. In my opinion, this is all because of him. I don't care about anything else. I put it all because of him.
You're a collective.
But the rest of his season, the start obviously was shaky, but he has picked up form in the Premier League at least anyway. So you can still appreciate a player that has picked up form and progressed and he's doing better and he's doing well. But you can also say, but today he's had a stinker.
In the Premier League, he's certainly looked more solid, and then tonight, for some reason, he's absolutely crumbled.
Just to back you there, like, people are forgetting that De Gea cost us to go in further in the Europa League last season. Let's not forget that and how bad that was against Sevilla. Like, and West Ham, it was bad with De Gea. And we shouldn't even be talking about De Gea.
I don't even want to speak about it.
Because all you see on Twitter is De Gea, De Gea, De Gea.
So
he's gone.
Now.
We back the keeper we've got. He's had a bad game. We move on. It's just life. And people that are so quick to throw players under the bus and want to get rid of them is ridiculous. And he's shown he's a good keeper. He may not be the greatest shot stopper in the world. He may have deficiencies that are highlighted in this competition, unfortunately for us. But at the end of the day, he's the keeper. Just back him. It just get over.
Do you know what it is?
What I would say as well is like, what a boring world we would live in if everybody was always right and everybody agreed on the same things.
Exactly.
Like the whole point is to have different opinions, and sometimes people are wrong, sometimes people are right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. So far, he's not been good enough. I'll sit here and say that, but I'm not going to say, oh yeah, I apologise for saying I wanted a different keeper, because that's just, I would be lying.
Yeah,
and it's not that far fetched, right? You stick by what you said, and I know you will firmly stand by it. I mean, my cousin, I'm not even going to mention his name because he'd be embarrassed about this, but I remember when Januzaj burst on the scene, right? And we were all in a pub, and he'd been to Old Trafford that day, and he'd come back. He said, this lad is amazing. He went, I'm going to throw it out there, but I think he could be the next Messi, right? So he's now had to live with that. When we go in the pub, we always go, hey, remember when you said that Januzaj was the next Messi?
I think you have to name and shame.
No,
that's great.
I won't embarrass him. He knows who he is if he's watching.
I hope he's watching.
I mean, we're going to get into it. We'll talk about Bayindir a little bit because people are bringing that up. We'll talk about other players as well because obviously Onana was mainly to blame, but there was some good performances, some poorer performances across the pitch. Got some super chats in. Lee says, hi everybody, the honest truth is Onana is not a goalkeeper with an elite mentality. What he's going to do now is apologise and we must accept it again. Rivaldo says, McTominay handed Bruno that yellow. How do you put in a crappy cross and not sprint back to defend? Bruno deserves better midfielders around him.
That was criminal,
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got another one for saying we won the game, just not on paper. There is absolutely no argument against the fact we lost the game because of Onana gifting goals. Izzy Akai says, you wanted to get rid of De Gea, one of the greatest goalkeepers in United history, to get a ball-playing keeper. And Thomas Hopley says, I respect Double A, but this should be the Onana show. Dan Harden says, I'm sorry, the game plan was correct. Onana let the team down. We don't have to control the game or to handle the pressure. And let's review with Krisha. Stop blaming the team. Kindly have a backbone and speak. It's Onana who cost us the Champions League. Onana cost us the game irrespective of how he plays. Jacob says Onana has cost us in the biggest games. His passing from the back is a myth. Who cares if he has a fancy pass? He can't stop simple shots. Michael says the team played well. It's on Onana. Also a fallacy to say Bruno is to blame to give up free kicks. He gave them up to prevent goals from open play and to stop counter-attacks. Nick P says, I blame the team. Yes, Onana was at fault, but there's moments we lack composure. Yeah. We don't know how to close a game from being in front. Kijoko said, had it not been for them two howlers, we'd be praising the team. Onana cost us. Simple. Eric Ten Hag in. And Aaron says, the issue is we have a ball-playing goalkeeper before we can construct a team that can control possession. Onana is not a good shot stopper. That is all it is. Space Ordai says, De Gea would have helped us more if he stayed one more season. Regan says Bartes or Onana. And Black Wolf says, Beth, love you, but you're about to get cooked. I know. Kelvin says Onana was a mistake. We should have kept David. Tears in my eyes. Good one. And DJ says Mainoo would have made a big difference. Why didn't he start? Love Eric Ten Hag, but poor selection tonight and poor control. I mean, they're the super chats. Thank you everyone for your contributions. But I mean, while we're on the topic of Onana, the whole show isn't going to be about Onana, but this is a question I'm going to put out there. Would you be looking to maybe give Bayindir a chance, or would you stick with him, Mordzs?
No, not in the Prem, innit? Well, we're out the Champions League now anyway, so I don't make a difference, but not in the Prem, because...
No, we're not, Mordzs. We've still got one game to go, mate. Come on.
What is the actual chances, though?
Dream's still alive.
You never know.
I've not done the calculations yet, but I'm pretty sure...
You never know.
Like, okay.
Stick a quid on it.
In a fairyland, we might still go through, but in the Premier League, no, because like I said, his record isn't actually that bad in the Premier League. Recently, over the past 5-6 games, it hasn't been terrible. And he's getting, I think he's got the most clean sheets out of every keeper in the league, so it would not make sense to put a player who is in form, in that sense, in the Premier League, to replace him. We're not Arsenal. Look at the problems that they're having now with their keepers. Why are we going to copy what they're doing and put ourselves in that same situation? So definitely not. I mean, I was more hoping that we'd be in more competition so we can at least try out these players. You know, if we were in the League Cup, Champions League, we would be able to try out more players and see how they do. But because we're just exiting these cups every other week, it's like now every game is a big game, and it's like now we have to play our first team.
I mean, we will speak about... I mean, actually, we'll keep on the Bayindir and Onana thing first, and I've got something else to bring up. I mean, Double A? Yeah,
so for me, I felt it was really important for Bayindir, especially when the rumours about Onana going to Africa Cup of Nations and everything like that Bayindir got a little bit of a couple of games before that happens, just to see where he's at, if he's got the skills, because we literally know nothing about him, especially as United fans. So that Newcastle game, I expected him to play. He really should have played in that game, I think. And The problem is now we've got Newcastle in the league away. He's not going to play in that game. He's not going to drop Onana for buying dear to throw him into that game, is it? Do you know what I mean? I just don't see that happening. You can do it with an outfield player, but your keeper, I think he has to stick by Onana now. I think as a manager, it's his man, so he has to stick by him and show that faith in him. And like Mord said, in the league, he's built some form and shown his qualities to an extent.
Do you think he's nervous around the Champions League and that's getting into his head because he knows he's made previous big mistakes in the Champions League, so everything's going to be under a massive microscope? I know you can't afford to let that affect you, but you think that could be part of it?
He possibly has felt the pressure a lot more in these games. You can see it massively.
But to be a United keeper, you've got to stand up and be able to take that, haven't you?
Of course, and you have to. Then Ten Hag has to look at that and think, why is his mentality? Because someone said he's not got elite mentality. I think he has got elite mentality because he's become seen as one of the greatest keepers or one of the best keepers from last season in the world. What I think he probably means is, I don't think he has elite goalkeeping technique.
Yeah, but the thing is, Onana, wasn't he on the field tonight? He was the most. Nobody else has played more Champions League games than Onana.
Yeah,
so that kind of kills that kind of theory straight away, doesn't it? That he shouldn't be nervous.
I mean, you don't play for Ajax.
He was the only one in our team that was a Ballon d'Or nominee.
Yeah,
well, we say you don't play for Ajax, Inter, and United and Cameroon, your national team, without having an elite mentality.
But I will be honest. Obviously, I wanted him from what I'd seen of him at Inter Milan, and I just wanted that style of keeper. But I'm going to be honest, like, he's done well in the league and obviously top clean sheets in the league, which is a good achievement. But I do look at him and think I just don't know his technique when saving shots. He just isn't comfortable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just not comfortable, and that is slightly worrying because that has been a consistent thing that I'm looking at. Like, that should look more comfortable than what it is.
But then, yet on the biggest stage in the Champions League final last season against Manchester City, he didn't put a foot wrong.
I feel like people.
And I don't think you can just isolate it as like just one good performance. You're talking about the pinnacle of any footballer's career, the Champions League final. Any footballer will say they want to win that. And he was brilliant in that. And does it come back then down to the debate that in Onana's defence, he hasn't really played with a settled back four at Manchester United?
I feel like I agree, but I feel like people keep referring to this final, and when you keep referring to one game, that's when you know a player's in trouble. Because he was brilliant the whole campaign, but everyone refers to that final as like that was Onana's final. He was playing amazing, and if you look at this season, really and truly, most of the big games we played, he hasn't been amazing. He's conceded 3 at City, conceded 2 at Tottenham, conceded 3 at Arsenal.
He was good at City.
I mean, he was all right.
No, he was good.
But conceding
all them 3 goals, he couldn't have done anything about.
I'm saying he still conceded a lot of goals in big games, which is just facts though. And conceded.
But that's down to the team.
In every Champions League game, he's conceded at least 3 goals as well.
Yeah, but Champions League. Fair enough, he has been terrible, but to say always he's conceding big goals in the Premier League against big teams because our team is rubbish at defending in them games.
Yeah.
But I'm saying in every big, in the clean sheets that he's had haven't been against big teams. So I'm saying even though he has got a lot of clean sheets, which I do praise him for, he has got a lot of clean sheets. If you haven't got any clean sheets against any big team, that is a
Do you not agree that it reflects like a team issue as well?
It's definitely the whole team. Our back line has been terrible in general, but I'm saying he's part of the back. He's part of the defence. You know what I'm saying? So if there was a defender who had also conceded that many goals against every single big team and in every Champions League game, I'd say the same thing. So you can't just not say Onana's.
Maguire.
I mean,
I didn't say that.
But I'm just saying he has conceded a lot of goals against big teams. So maybe it is. What was the term you used?
I'm looking
mentality thing.
Obviously, in the Champions League, absolutely, like he's not been good enough, and I've just said he's cost us it. But I'm looking at the games in the Prem. I thought Arsenal away he was great, but nothing to blame. I thought he dictated from the back really well. City at home, I thought nothing was on him. I actually thought we would have been battered a lot more if he didn't make some good saves. What other big games he played?
I don't think he was that bad at Spurs away.
It was fine. So I think that's over-egging the narrative a little bit, to be honest. But that's just. If you look at this game, obviously the Premier League's Premier League, but this game was so important that everyone was on the job tonight. And for me, a lot of players have played really well. They've had great games. Bruno, I thought, had a great game. Like say, I'm not just blaming him for them 2 incidents with the free kicks. I'm just saying after you do the first one, you just have to be careful where you are and what you're doing. And I think big experienced players should do that anyway. But you just like we all said, we just don't trust this team to be level-headed, composed, and
breed confidence that they can see games out, and it's consistently doing this. And I don't know how Erik ten Hag changes that, and if until he gets rid of a lot of the players. And the most important thing that we have lacked is that back five being consistent, and we massively missed Varane. Whatever's happening there is happening there. Martinez and Shaw coming back has shown how important he is to that back line. But Erik ten Hag built his success last season on that back five, and the fact we've not had that has really, really hindered us all season.
It has, but at the same time, you look at the Everton game Sunday, there was only one player in that team that Erik ten Hag signed, which probably shows you at Manchester United, you know, the issues, the problems. Yes, we've had injuries, but we're not Newcastle, we're not Kieran Trippier. We don't carry on about it all the time, saying, going, oh, season's over, have you seen the injuries? Yeah. Right, we're just dealing with it. But at the same time, you can look at it and go, there was one player, and we won 3-0 against Everton.
Sorry, Mark, do you come in?
Yeah, I was going to say, on the back line though, I mean, today, I think the problem was the fact that we had a lot of yellow cards, because I feel like a lot of the players were a bit on edge, because, I mean, both our fullbacks had a yellow card. Yeah. In fact, we had about 6 or 7 yellow cards this game. And it wasn't even a feisty game. Yeah, it was a bit weird. Like, every single challenge was a yellow straight away. And then I feel like, especially with someone like Wan-Bissaka, you could put him on a yellow card, he's thinking, because he's a risky player anyway. Like, he's a last-ditch kind of player. So putting him on a yellow card, he had to kind of take him off, because it was any challenge. Well,
it was him or Luke Shaw, and I think he kept Shaw because he's more experienced and maybe just
Maguire. I don't think Maguire played bad either, to be fair. So
Wan-Bissaka's game's all about them last-ditch challenges. Yeah. If he gets one wrong, he's off, and then the game plan's out the window.
Let's talk about a few individual performances. First of all, double, you were just talking about Bruno. Kev, I'll come to you. Bruno, for me today, I thought, obviously, them free kicks weren't great, but I think he was forced into giving them away, so I don't blame him for them. But what a goal.
Yeah.
And also,
you even forget about that now.
His assist in the build-up was just excellent as well. A captain's performance for you?
Yeah, and what epitomised Bruno Fernandes was that tracking back of, McTominay. You see somebody like Bruno Fernandes that's sprinting 60 yards back. Yes, he gives away the foul, which again is debatable. You can say he clips his leg. Other people will look at it and say it's silly to even go anywhere near a player there and give them the opportunity. I still think United should have set up a better wall. That comes down to Onana saying how many go in the wall, moving him. I think he got his feet wrong. He wasn't in the right position. But we've covered Onana. But yeah, he comes in for a lot of criticism, Bruno. I think unfairly so. He is the captain of Manchester United, and he does lead by example. I've seen things recently that I just look at him, and them players respect him. And Manchester United as a whole have been going through a bad time, so you can't just single out one player. How many times have we debated Marcus Rashford's dropping form, or especially from last season? Yes, Bruno's not hit the heights of that first season at Manchester United, but again, we're talking about a different game altogether here. If we'd won 3-2, if we won 3-1, we would be reflecting. It was a fantastic goal by Bruno Fernandes. Yeah. At that point, he's got the ball. What's he doing? Pass. Bang. He's got different ideas.
Even when he hit the post, again, you think, why shooting from there? But
it's fine margins, and that's another moment where Man United could have won this game. And we wouldn't have been talking. Onana in this show would have just been a side spin later on where we'd say, are you worried about his, and we would have just put it down to he's just had a very, very bad day at the office. We move on, as the United players would say.
Some form. The last 2 games he's shown, and I find form as a captain. I think he's shown real great leadership skills. I think he was brilliant against Everton. I think he was brilliant tonight.
He needs better players around him. The ball in for Martial at the weekend,
And you saw him tonight. Runs. He had the bit between his teeth. He was spurring the team on. Like you say, he scored that goal, got an assist, and he should have had another goal. But it's probably because he got asked great questions in his pre-match conference report, I think.
Good jinx. A good jinx. Thank you, Double A.
He seemed confident in the press conference.
Pardon?
He seemed confident in the press conference.
Yeah, he did. 4-0 after 27 minutes at the Emirates to Arsenal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who cares?
It's all about the Europa.
Yeah. Next player I wanted to talk about, I'll come to you on this, Mords, because you like him. Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Okay.
Mixed reviews on him tonight.
Yeah.
I'd never really see Wan-Bissaka got beat, but he got beat a few times and misplaced a few challenges, lost the ball a couple of times.
Yeah.
What did you make of his performance?
literally, like you said, I think it was a bit cagey. I knew in this game anyway, because of Zaha and the way how Galatasaray play, it's going to be a difficult game for him regardless. I wasn't expecting United to just control this game fully, I'll be honest. I didn't think we were going to completely dominate defensively or offensively. I thought it was going to be very back and forth, and Wan-Bissaka was going to be crucial because remember the last game, the goal that Zaha scored with Dalot, Wan-Bissaka is not allowing that to happen. You know what I mean? And those kind of battles, there was a lot of one-on-one battles this game. Garnacho had a lot of one-on-one battles. You know, across both teams, a lot of individual, like I said, battles between players, which, in my opinion, Wan-Bissaka thrives at. And I don't think he did that bad, in my opinion. But like I said before, it's the yellow card for Wan-Bissaka, which I think throws him off a bit.
It's in his head.
Because it is going to get into a player like him. And it's a psychological thing, like you're saying. When you're a player who's used to being on the floor, and the referee was... I don't even want to say he was very. What's the word?
He set the tone for the game. Like, he's one of them refs that once he gets he'll let one and go, then two, and then you're on your last one. But the minute the first one gets dished out, somebody else throws a challenge in. That's their fair, and they get a yellow, and everyone's like, "That's his fair." You can't. It's the wrong way of refereeing a game. You've got no control over a match.
It literally all it was taking was one more challenge from a player, and the first red comes out, and next you know there could be like 5 reds because there were so many yellow cards.
And it wasn't a dirty game, was it? It wasn't
crazy.
Two-footed challenges, you know. There was never a moment where everybody was squaring up to each other, any kind of flashpoints, which you would have expected at Galatasaray, but it was nothing like that.
It was just a frantic game. I don't think there was no dirty challenges. No one was trying to injure anyone. It's one of them ones you could have let them go and then say, right, after the second or third, right, that's your last one.
He did let quite a few Galatasaray ones go.
Galatasaray,
With us, it felt like you breathed too heavily on somebody and you'd get a yellow card.
In a stadium like that, an atmosphere like that, and a game as it is, the whole team seems to get there.
You're heavily influenced.
My brother messaged me like 10 minutes before the game saying it's the referee. It's the referee because I can't remember what game he refereed of ours, but I think it was at Old Trafford and I was going absolutely insane. And then when I saw him today, I was like, no. I said to Kev, didn't I? I was like, no, it wasn't too bad. But like you said, with the yellows, it was just ridiculous. And do you know what I think was a big pivotal point, actually? And I was saying I wasn't a fan of Amrabat in the starting 11, but I actually think Amrabat was doing really well up until the yellow. And I think if Amrabat doesn't get the yellow, I think it might be McTominay that gets subbed for Mainu. I'm going to be honest, Amrabat was outperforming McTominay. Got a good goal, fair enough. But I thought Amrabat was outperforming McTominay, and I would have liked to see Amrabat and Mainu and Bruno in midfield. And it's silly things like that. Like, that was never a yellow for Amrabat. I know I'm not trying to make excuses because we still should win the game. But that can have that butterfly effect.
Well, Ten Hag's been forced into making that an unnecessary change that he probably in his head, the game plan, didn't think he was going to have to make, and then he's forced into making that.
It's the exact same as Wan-Bissaka. Once he gets that yellow card, it's in his head then, because he knows he's there to break up play, to be that destroyer, and to keep the defence.
And the opposition team they'll go all for that, double up on that side.
And they were diving as well. They were going down far too easily.
You've got to give credit in a sense as well, the fact that Zaha is a really difficult defender to go against. Also, he got a good assist, but. I mean, for me, I do think I expect a lot with Wan-Bissaka just because I know how good he can be. So it's one of them, isn't it? But like you said, Ziyech was diving all over the shop. But next player I wanted to talk about, because I think he does. Actually, I'll do some super chats first, and then we'll move on to Antony. Anthony Tracy says all our Champions League games have been end to end, no midfield. Sean Dunn says, hi guys, I like Onana and I like Ten Hag, but let's be honest, we got Onana over one good game in the Champions League final. Zayn says Amrabat should not have been off, it should have been McTominay. Why Varane didn't get a chance in the second half for Lindelof. Bad defence, no excuse for Onana, Champions League finalist, stresses me out. I did say Lindelof wasn't. I thought he was a bit soft in certain scenarios. Zim says Man United is harbouring a. Oh, I'm not reading that one out. I'm not reading that one out. Good job, I stopped myself. TS3 Rule says who top clean sheets in the Prem last season. Love to coach. Thank you for your super chat. DJ says. Spent most of the game playing the ball to Galatasaray. Tusha says you can all discuss that he is okay, not okay, but the truth is that we had a world-class shot stopper and now we have a championship level keeper. I mean, championship level's a bit extreme.
Bit harsh.
Butter says, I wouldn't start Onana at my son's under-16 league. I see Dead Body says, and I was keeping good. How many games have you actually watched? This is a recurring theme throughout his career. I mean, I just don't think you can get 12 clean sheets in the Champions League and not be good. I know Inter Milan are very well organised and they're a good team unit, but he is a good keeper. He's not been good for us.
The problem is because we're so open, because we get a lot of shots, we get faced with a lot of shots because of how we play. It does all pinpoint. It does all pinpoint to the goalkeeper, because then you need your goalkeeper to save you more often than not. Where Onana's playing for teams where he's probably not facing as many shots, because Inter Milan are one of the best teams in Italy, and Ajax are obviously Ajax. With Manchester United at the moment, we seem to, like, even Everton had a load of shots against us on Sunday. What you need then is a world-class shot stopper, like we had with the previous keeper. I'm not going to say his name.
And also some that can take the pressure off.
Yeah,
we talk about him being a ball-playing, goalkeeper.
He's not ball played to the ability to the extent I thought he would either. He's not being very good at that either.
It's almost like rugby sometimes. You just knock it out of touch every single
he did
time.
2 of them kicks out of his hand that just went straight to the Galatasaray player. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And that's a confidence thing, though. It's not going his way. He knows
he's too relaxed.
He knows he's not playing well.
Yeah, he's very, very relaxed on the ball. Like sometimes I'm a bit too. I'm a bit scared. Like when he gets the ball, I don't know what he's gonna do.
Bartes.
Shaheen says we should absolutely bench him, let him reflect on his horrible performances. It's just going to get worse on his current confidence. Nathan says Onana has been a disgrace in the Champions League. We've got another one in from Jordan, says you can't say we lost the game not because of Onana. He single-handedly
we didn't lose
cost
the game.
us. And
we drew.
Josh Waring, we drew actually. We're going into the Europa League at least, get it right. Josh Waring says this is why we need a director of football. We would have gotten Costa instead of a former Erik ten Hag Ajax player. I did like Costa.
Costa's great. He would cost far too much.
Yeah.
We'd never get Costa.
Fadsley says, sorry, I've seen enough of Onana. The way he catches the ball and makes saves are just dodgy. No commanding presence as well. Is there any more on here? Oh yeah, Jose says, weren't those stupid fouls caused by stupid passes? Midfield is weak. Also, Onana should be saving those. No composure in the final third. Thank you everyone for your super chats. Hopefully I got them all in then. Let's move on to Antony, because a lot of people, I think basically all United fans when they saw he was starting, was a little bit disappointed. But I have to say, I was happy with his performance. I mean, what did you guys think of it?
Yeah, I can't single him out and said, before the game, I must say that the eyebrows got raised and I looked and I thought, wow, Antony back in the team, obviously nowhere near it on Sunday. I'm thinking, what's he done to deserve that? Yes, I don't see what he does in training or anything. We know this is Ten Hag's kind of guy. He spent big money on him. I've gone on record before as saying, if this guy costs, £500,000, I personally don't think he'd be anywhere near this team, or he'd be playing in the reserves or shipped off. I think United would have just cut the ties with him, but Ten Hag has showed faith in him. And to throw him into such a big game, pressure cooker, atmosphere, everything, a must-win game, really, for Manchester United. Thought he did all right, I really did. I thought he was targeted, I thought he was kicked all over the place. I didn't think he got little protection from the referee. In that sense, I'm certainly not going to single him out this evening. It really, really surprised me, actually. I think he was all right.
Yeah, I mean, I actually agree, because I remember I spoke to one of my friends when the team sheet came out, and I was like, look, this is his last chance. Like, in my opinion, after today,
we say that every week.
I'm giving up. After today, I'm giving up with Antony, because if he was bad today, I would have said there's no way we can start him again, because it's wasting opportunity with other players, you know what I mean? Especially because we've got players that can play on both wings. Rashford can even play on the right. Obviously, he got a red card today, but he had a red card for today's game. But because we have players that can play on both wings, Garnacho can even go on the right sometimes. It's a waste. I don't want to say it's a waste of space, but it's a waste of a position. It's a waste of a position to keep on starting him, because he's just not doing anything. But saying that, like you said, he did play good today, and I think the way how the game went today kind of suited him a bit, because he is the kind of player he does want to use his pace and he does want to make the game quick. I feel like when the game slows down,
end-to-end stuff.
Yeah, end-to-end stuff, it does benefit the way he plays. When it slows down, he's not the greatest, because teams can just hold him off and he can't really do anything when the game's going like that.
I think he's shown the best of himself today in ways that he was very intelligent when he had the ball. I think his runs off the ball were really, really, really good, and he was found quite often. I think his decision making was a lot better sometimes, and releasing it quick. And other times, I actually was shouting at him for the Bruno goal. I was like, go, pass it, and then he waited for the perfect moment to Højlund, and then obviously that's where Bruno scored a fantastic goal. I think the only problem is it's a small sample size of what Antony can actually do well, and we've seen it tonight. And Yeah, I agree with you guys. When you see his name on his team sheet, even though I'm a big advocate of him and I do like him, he's not performed to the level where he should be playing these big games. When other players like Pellistri have done well, coming in and shown a lot more than he has. But when you see him do that, you know there's a player there. Ten Hag's job is to have that consistently shown week in, week out. There's no excuse for him not to do it now. If he can do it in a game like that, like you say, we have to win. Yeah. And for me, probably second best player under Bruno for us tonight. I think he was really, really good.
It's only 22 as well, which people have got to realise. I'm going to be honest, I think maybe because he's been so poor, seeing him actually play well, like people are maybe over egging the pudding a little bit, but I do think he did the basics right, which is what you want to see. He was beating players, winning free kicks, and actually making the right decisions of when to pass. I think he had like one shot where usually you just see him cut inside and like bend it, and then, you know, sometimes they're really good shots, but they often miss the target. This time he was making cute little passes, and even he was actually going to the byline and tricking the defender and putting it back on his left and somehow crossing it that way. So just being a little bit more variation. Yeah, variation and being more than just one-dimensional, which is what you want to see. I mean, next, what did we make of Pellistri and Martial's and Mainoo's impact off the bench? I mean, double A. We start with that.
I feel sorry for Pellistri straight away because I've already seen
people already tweeting me saying, it's your fault he missed chances. You asked for him to start. He's not good enough to start.
Why is it always your fault? Why is it you?
Sorry.
I asked if
Pellistri is close to being a starter, and because he put it over the bar because of me. I mean, come on.
We need to get Blame Beth in the comments. Hashtag Blame Beth trending on Twitter.
You don't need to get it trending. You don't need to get it trending. You do not want to get it trending.
Don't say it's already trending.
I've seen people at Old Trafford with T-shirts on. Blame Beth. No, but Pellistri, you know, it's one of them. It's a learning curve. He's still 21 years old. You know, you talk about Antony being young. He's even younger. So, listen, he comes in. He's not in any stronger position. He's on the left-hand side. You were screaming, why is he not on the right? Which he's played well there, like against Everton. It's a learning curve for him. Yes, he should have scored that chance, but it's a fantastic save from the keeper to get there. For myself, Martial, he was brought on to hold the ball up. I don't think he played that well. He did some good moments, but I don't think he did it to the level that Ten Hag would have hoped for. Mainoo looked solid when he came on.
Kev's having a peep.
What? Hold on.
I'll
talk to Mark. I don't know. So basically, with Mainoo, like you said, I'll quickly move on and finish my point. He should have played with Amrabat. I would have liked to have seen them two. I think it would have been more solid and hopefully would have closed up shop and won the game. But we'll carry on with Kev having a peep.
When I get the giggles, I can't stop.
God.
I honestly can't stop. Yeah, I can't even remember what we're talking about.
I want to talk about Mainoo though.
Okay, go on.
Bring a bit of order.
Good work, Mordzs.
Well done.
But you mentioned about McTominay before, and obviously I think the reason why he kind of stayed on was because of obviously the goal and whatnot. Yeah, but I feel like when you want to control the midfield, Mainoo is 100% a better player to put on. Mainoo over McTominay makes a lot more sense. Yeah. Because I don't know, it's like McTominay can't pass the ball sometimes, or sometimes he just can't control the ball, or it's the basics of McTominay where I don't have confidence when he has the ball, or he's not showing for the ball when the ball's in the defence or the goalkeeper's got it. Whereas Mainoo, it's like he always wants it, and that's what you want in a player, especially a deeper player, someone playing as a six. You want someone who is actively looking to get the ball. Always showing for the ball, and also be able to take it on a half turn and bring the ball forward, and that's what Mainoo does amazing. And him and Amrabat, I feel like that would have been a good combination because Amrabat I don't think that's his best suit. I think he's more of a he's very active on the pitch, as in like he's everywhere. He gets a lot of interceptions, tackles and whatnot. Whereas Mainoo is more, give me the ball. I'm a bit more shifty, I'm a bit more quicker, a bit more agile on the ball, and I can dictate it a bit better. Whereas McTominay can't do that. So I think if maybe that is one thing that Ten Hag could have done better if he kept that duo with Bruno in front being a lot more attacking, that would have been a bit more.
That's the thing with McTominay, it's this thing, and a lot of United fans say it about him just going missing. But then sometimes he kind of looks lively, doesn't he?
He scores a goal and everyone thinks he's the best player in the world.
I know lads at work the same. they'll go hiding on, building sites. They're on the phone in the cabin or whatever looking. And then the minute like one of the foremen or whatever or a manager comes out, they look lively, then they're sweeping up, you know what I mean? Putting a few bricks down and looking lively. And then, it's only done for a couple of minutes or whatever. And then it reverts back to, I'm going missing here, I'm going for a fag behind the cabin or whatever, and they're gone again. And
I don't want to make it about McTominay because I think he actually had a decent game and he did very well for his goal. But like you say, I want footballers. I don't want someone who just shows passion and runs around, because you might as well go and get a long distance runner who can just run around all day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, only gets
go and get Mo Farah. Sign Mo Farah. Like I just think I want football. I want people who can play football, and he doesn't do it well enough or often enough. He does it in moments. Like you were saying, you might as well play him number 10. If he's good up there, play him 10 then. If that's drop Bruno to an 8 or something, utilise his strengths, because clearly ball progression and being tackling is okay at, but passing and ball progression up the pitch is not his strong suit. And I think we miss that solidity in the midfield far too often, and we saw it today how open the game was. And I think you're absolutely spot on. Mainu and Amrabat, I think, would have been a nice cohesive unit in there to really solidify and shore up with the midfield, and hopefully it could have won us the game.
Mainu is such a positive. Yeah. Again, we've only had a glimpse this evening. To come on in that atmosphere, which at that stage, the whistling, the noise, even on the telly, it sounded like just a horrendous ball of noise. But for Mainu to come on, yes, Ten Hag's thought, I'm bringing him in, let's see what he can do. Yeah. But there was just them little passages of play. And I said, after the Everton game, he just does the simple things, but it's so effective and it just looks so great. Again, I don't want to build him up too much, but
so good.
What have we got?
Ricky sent me a message to read out, and to be fair, he's speaking quite truthfully.
Okay. So, twice in one day?
I know.
Oh my days.
Says...
He always speaks truthfully, this man.
Oh, truthfully, but yes.
He says, mention game management, it's atrocious. At 3-1 off, taking Amrabat off for Mainu is ridiculous. Mainu should have been on for one of the wingers, or even Bruno to tighten it up. Have more players in the proper midfield, just an extra bit behind the ball. Absolutely embarrassing. I
agree. Well, we've all said that. We would have liked to have seen Mainu come on with Amrabat. I think, not for Bruno. I think Bruno was fantastic.
No, not for Bruno, but for one of the wingers is to be honest, is arguable. To just get a few more players behind the ball, you're 3-1
Not McTominay, Ricky, no? Not McTominay.
I mean...
keep him on.
Well, Mainu came on at 3-2, right? Did he come on at 3-2 or 3-1?
Came on at 3-1.
For the 3-1.
And I'm not... I thought Mainu was good on the ball when he came on.
Yeah.
But he could have...
There wasn't a change to the...
He could have had more help.
To the formation of the team, was there? And yes, I would agree that other managers would look to pat the midfield out. Let's shut up shop.
He could have even... It's a stretch, I suppose. He could have even brought one of the wingers off and brought Varane on and put Lindelof in the midfield. I know he's played there. Even if it's just a body in there that can get about
in front of the defence.
Sat in front and just showed it up a little bit more. Gone free at the back. Do you know what I mean?
A lot of people saying that Amrabat was on a yellow. That doesn't mean he was going to get sent off. Like, players can control themselves.
No, but I think the way the
type of player that he is,
and with the way the game was going with the referee,
I didn't want to give the referee any excuse because he was definitely card happy.
He managing the game in a different way.
Yeah.
He's a bit less
yellow as well.
Everyone was on a bit of yellow.
Yeah, it's like, sometimes, I mean, it can go one way. If you don't bring him off and he gets sent off, you're like, oh, why have you not done that?
Why did you bring him off?
If you do bring him off, you're like, oh, I should have stayed on.
It's hindsight.
Hindsight is one of them things. But a lot of people asking us, I mean, one thing I do want to say is, I was saying I really wanted Martial to start, and then he comes on and he drops a performance like a 4 out of 10. And I'm like, he had enough time as well to make an impact. And I'm like, why is he so inconsistent? Like, he can play such a good game and then he can just absolutely ghost. And I'm like, what Martial am I going to get? And that's the frustrating thing. But Garnacho, super goal with a great shot. He was clearly getting targeted throughout the game. They were being very physical on him. I mean, is he securing his place more and more on that left wing?
Yeah. I think he is. I think it is. It's difficult for Rashford. I mean, it's difficult for Garnacho because the player in his position is Rashford. I think if it was anybody else, genuinely anybody else on the pitch, Garnacho would have that position now. But because it's Rashford, because he's a star player, because he's the highest earning player in the team, it's kind of a bit of an obligation for him to play, which is kind of frustrating because you don't want that.
You say that, but he's getting shifted over to the right-hand side for Garnacho. Garnacho seems to be, for me, if a manager's moving me to another wing, that seems he's got more faith in the player that...
No, you're right, but Rashford's still playing though.
But I said it on Sunday. I said, what Rashford needs is for players that are in attacking positions to be playing well. Antony's shown again tonight he can play well. Palistri's not done too well, but Garnacho again has played well. So it puts more pressure now on Rashford that when I'm in the team, I need to start performing. If I'm not, eventually it's going to get to the point where it's like, well, Garnacho and Antony are both performing, you're not. Hoyland is my number 9. You might have to hold the bench.
Well, it is now, because when you're looking ahead to, let's say, the Newcastle match, you do look at it and you think, with Rashford, you know, what's he going to do there? Because has he warranted anything to walk straight back into this team for a big game?
No.
No, I
think
agree.
Rashford would have been good in this game. I think if he played this kind of cagey back and forth.
You used to shoot Rashford lover.
I know, yeah.
Actually, but I genuinely think this kind of game where it's just back and forth, we got him behind so many times, like, he would have, hopefully, I don't know. But
he's got an eye.
If you had a
poster down here.
Pace.
Yeah, he would have done well.
It would have been nice to at least have him as an option.
Yeah,
but
of course, yeah. He's a big player and he can do moments.
I do think if anyone can bench Rashford, though, it would be Garnacho.
He's proving he's fantastic. Like he really is.
He's a big game player, isn't he?
He's really good as what we all think he's going to be, and there's still talk about him not starting, and I get that. Being a young player.
I think he's proven himself as a starter.
We had it in the summer. I would have given him the number 7 shirt. I believe in this kid that much, and I think he believes in himself that much, and that's what I really love. You see his celebration again. What? Yeah. He's on it. He knows. He believes in himself, and like I said on Sunday, it's when United have these youngsters in the team, we always have to calm ourselves down. We can't believe the hype too much, but we've got a couple there at the moment that are proving they are the real deal, and Garnacho for me is absolutely one of them.
He's giving Ten Hag an absolute brilliant headache in a sense of competition for places, because Garnacho at this minute in time is almost saying to Ten Hag, drop me if you dare. He's giving him no reason actually to drop him, because you can't, because he's putting it in there and he's starting to contribute goals. Obviously the one on Sunday was out of this world. He probably might never score anything ever like that again in his football career, but today it's another great finish, it really is, and an all-round really good performance.
Yeah, he could have had a couple more, to be honest with you.
Could have had an assist there, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's frustrating we didn't manage to score towards the end. Like, obviously Onana's at fault. We should have probably won the game 3-1 minimum. But then it's like, towards the end we did have so many opportunities to score, and that's where you've got to be ruthless in front of goal.
Wasteful we were. I think people like Bruno's come out and said, you know, sometimes you have to look for the better pass, and there was a couple of instances, McTominay, Palistri as well, there's a couple there that they could have looked for the better pass.
Because Palistri usually does look to pass it off, but maybe he was just trying to, like,
I think it was that moment of the game,
the score.
If he wasn't on the left, if he was on the right, he don't shoot, he passes. Yeah. I think because he's cut in. It's that same adage. When they're on the wrong side, they cut in, they want to shoot.
Well, let's talk about this. Would we rather, now, because the only way United can get through these groups, if we beat Bayern and Galatasaray and Copenhagen draw, and Bayern beat Copenhagen tonight. So it's a lot of if, buts and maybes.
What's the score with them right now?
To be honest with you, I just don't think that's going to happen, but I'll have a look.
8-0 Copenhagen.
We live in hope, don't we?
That's all we can do.
It's 0-0 at half-time, Bayern and Copenhagen.
Right, okay, come on, Bayern. Okay. Bayern at home, aren't they?
Yes, Bayern are at home.
And they've got a strong team out, from what I've heard.
Come on, Kane, sketches. Let's do something.
So, I mean, there's a lot of if, buts and maybes, and honestly, for the amount of goals we conceded, we probably don't even deserve to go through the group. And I don't think we beat Bayern, but I also don't think the Galatasaray and Copenhagen game ends in a draw. My hope is gone down to 0%.
You look at the Copenhagen Galatasaray game. It's at Copenhagen. I think it could be one of them ones that they're both going to go for it, aren't they? And it's one of them ones where it's just last ditch everything, and you see them games. A lot of people saying about tonight, like the stuff that was happening with the weather, with the team. It's had all the makings of a boring 0-0, which wasn't the case. But you just have, like you say, hope. It's just a hope now. That's all we can do. Hopefully Bayern win, and then they think, no, do you know what? Let's just put the under-16s out. And then Onana might look fantastic against under-16s anyway. So, and then we roll them over.
They won't do that.
Yeah, they won't. They want to win all 16.
They want us to go out. They want to win at Old Trafford. They want to make
No, of course. But you have to hope, like you said, Beth.
And we have the safety blanket that if not, it's back to Thursday nights playing 12:30 in the evening kickoffs against Borat FC in Kazakhstan.
I'd rather.
Very nice. I don't like, actually.
I don't like
the Europa League.
Meet my wife.
Where are we going with this? What time is it, man?
Show.
We're nearly
Nearly there. I can't believe it, man.
He's got a glass of red wine
Too
waiting
much.
for him.
Oh, I
We're
wish.
delirious.
But-
I'd rather finish fourth. I'd rather not be in European football.
Right, I get you, because this is what I've been saying the whole time, that I'd rather finish fourth and I'd rather go out. But then today I was sat here and I was having a little think to myself and I was thinking, if we did go into the Europa League, it's probably the best chance we've got at a trophy.
We get knocked out by Liverpool, won't we? And it'd just be adding
we get-
further
No, 'cause you
insult
never
to
know,
us.
so
Battered by
Liverpool
Liverpool.
could get knocked out by
There's some
somebody
good,
else,
yeah,
you
but
don't know.
There'll be some good teams
te-
dropping
there is-
into that.
But there is some good teams in it already, I
Yeah.
think. You know, you look at some of the teams that are in there. Bayer
but it's a good chance.
Leverkusen, who are fighting it with Bayern in
It's not the
in
same as the Champions League,
Bundesliga.
though.
Yeah, but
We struggled in the
severe.
Champions League
We
anyway, haven't
struggled
we?
in the Europa League last season.
I know.
Positivity to end the show.
Yeah.
Love it.
But then again, obviously,
it
if
is
you
what it
come
is.
fourth, it's more time in the training ground, isn't it? So.
If we are there, then we have to go to win it. That's what we want to do. Every competition we want to win. So if we are, I'd prefer not to. I think if we can.
That's what I was saying
Top
earlier. Mourinho took this serious when he knew that top four was becoming less and less of a possibility. Threw all his eggs in that basket, won the Europa League, and that was
Yeah,
our
it's a
path to the Champions
It's a way
League
to
that
get
year.
into the Champions League
Yeah.
as well, and that's the only thing.
Once
'Cause
he
I don't-
dangled
I
that
don't-
carrot,
I
it
don't
made it
trust
a-
us to get top four.
I just hate Thursday,
also
Sunday.
Yeah, I do.
Hate
It
Thursday,
doesn't
Sunday.
fit in with my
I like-
social life at all. It really doesn't.
See what you're doing, United.
It does,
You're
exactly.
inconveniencing
Have some
Kev.
consideration. Step it
Sort
up.
yourselves out,
I'm not happy,
Onana.
man.
Sort it out.
I can't go back to Thursday, Sunday.
No.
It doesn't
I
fit in.
can't
But one thing I will say,
stand
I don't want us to do what Arsenal did last season, though, when they were like, oh, we just go out in every competition and hope that we're going to win a league.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, we do that, like, oh, forget it, let's just go out in everything and hope that we get top four, and then we don't. And it's like, why don't we just stay in the Europa League?
And we get one less forum a week, guys.
Well, yes.
Oh, that's not good. No, we won't see us. No, bring it. No, Thursdays. Europa League. I want to be on the
Here we
forum.
come.
Newcastle away Saturday night. Oh, Lord save me.
Yay, come on.
God.
It's an 8 p.m. kickoff on a 8 p.m. kickoff on a Saturday night.
But they
that
won.
doesn't fit with my social life.
There we go. Doesn't with mine either.
I don't think I'm
No,
on
I need a break anyway.
You
it's a
can
good
drown your
thing.
sorrows. There you go.
When on Saturday night?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll just all.
I have to watch the
we
match
turn
and be very professional and rock up here
Turn up to the
to
forum.
talk
We'll
about
all
it.
absolutely
That'd
just.
be, yeah, that'd be
I don't think I'm on for him on Saturday.
I bet people think that about us now, to be honest with you, the way it's gone this forum.
But Newcastle have a lot of injuries, though. So
We're going to win.
Oh.
We're going to win.
We're going to take. You can take that into
The thing is,
consideration.
right, if we hadn't have had this result tonight, and we didn't get beat, we drew 3-0.
did,
You know,
yes.
I'm a glass half full kind of guy at this moment in time. It's getting late here on Wednesday night, but if this hadn't happened this evening on the back of the Everton result, I think we'd have all been going in confident against Newcastle and thinking, bring on the Geordies, why I man? But it's the disappointment of this evening. As I always say, I think we need to go home and just have a good night's sleep.
It's a humbler, innit? Football is a humbler.
Oh, when Onana signed, he did an interview as soon as he signed in, and his first, one of his first things he said is, "I want to win the Champions League at Manchester United."
Oh, he's cursed it then.
Still,
It's his
yeah.
own fault.
Should have kept him
I thought you were going to say he thanked you for getting him there.
Don't start the narrative.
He thanked Beth for getting their head out.
That narrative is already there,
What
Beth.
signing does Eric Ten Hag want next, everyone? I'll get on the line to him. I'll give him a call.
Yeah.
I'll tell him.
Debo.
Diogo Costa's going to come in now on the super chat.
I'll get on the line.
Blame Beth. Blame Beth.
Don't start it, Kev.
Yeah.
Don't
Hashtag.
start it. Mark had to ban the word Beth from his watch along. I mean, that's how bad it was. Oh, I can't cope. But last but not least, do we think, first of all, any changes you make for the Newcastle game and score prediction? Mordzs?
I want to see Mainoo a bit more. If not starting, I want to see him at least come on a bit earlier. But in fact, I want him to start. I'll be honest. I want to see him play a bit more minutes because he's been confident when he's been playing. So I don't see the reason why he shouldn't play. And he's been one of our better midfielders in the games that he's played these last 2 games. So defense, I keep the same. Keeper, obviously, I keep the same.
Does Rashford walk back in?
You know he's going to start.
He's got his
silly
Rashford
question.
t-shirt under there. Of course he has,
Yeah, Rashford walks in for me.
That's like me asking Ricky, does Johnny Evans walk
No,
back in?
right,
Of course he does.
Rashford walks in on the right, though. He walks in on the right.
Oh, you don't drop Antony after tonight?
Yeah, I do. I definitely do.
I think
You're going to shatter his confidence, man.
He's been terrible in the league. That's like saying Onana should get dropped in the Prem.
Just putting a right performance in hell and then you...
Yeah.
I'm 100% dropping Antony. I don't think it's a drop. I think he was already dropped anyway. Like, I think he was meant to be on the bench, like in the league, regardless. I think Rashford,
Because of the sending off.
No, I mean.
What you mean? Antony was in the team because of that.
Yeah, like, I don't think I don't think in Ten Hag's head right now he's over Rashford on the right, and I think Garnacho has to start because of how well he's been.
I don't think he'll start. I don't think Garnacho starts.
Oh no, he will.
I think it'll be Antony Rashford. I genuinely think Rashford will be back on the left.
On the left.
I have a feeling it's not me personally. It's not saying that's what I want to do.
Højlund up top.
Knowing Ten Hag, it'll be Højlund, Antony, and Rashford.
But Everton, he was on the right now.
No, but I think he'll go back on the left and Antony will be on the right, and I think Dalot will come back in. I personally would like to see.
Dalot in for who? Wan-Bissaka?
I think so. The attacking, like he did the other day against Everton, I think he wanted that attacking threat. But in midfield, I would personally love to see Amrabat, Bruno, and Kobe. I think those three. Because McTominay scored today, and that'll probably keep him in the team because that seems to what happens. But against Newcastle again, it's going to be one we have to win that midfield battle. We won't do it with Scott McTominay.
There was a few occasions as well though where like he shot when he shouldn't have, didn't make the right pass.
He's just not very
Headers
good.
should have been on target that were over the bar, but
He's a super sub.
I'm being critical.
He's only got a Solskjaer.
We've got to wrap up so quickly. Yeah. Newcastle, St James's Park, quick one: win, lose or draw.
Win.
Gotta go for it.
Win. What are you drinking in that glass?
Okay, we'll see when we come Saturday.
Okay.
I'm gonna go for the Beth 2-1 United.
All right.
I think United will win. Yeah.
I mean, sure.
I can't say it with conviction there.
I don't know whether my hopes have just been absolutely shattered.
Do you know why? I'm at this point now where I said earlier that Manchester United will seriously affect your health. I think I've actually just lost the plot because I just say it every week now.
Yeah, win.
It's a good job I don't put money on it because I literally have nothing left because I'm just doing it for fun. I think United will win.
Go and see what you've done to him, people.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right. Anyway, guys, I think.
Come on, tell us.
I don't think we're going to win the game. I don't.
Yeah, but then when the group chat pops up on Friday and it says predictions, Beth will be saying 3-1 United.
2-1 United.
I can't help it. I can't physically type out predict United to lose.
Yeah, same. That's ridiculous.
It is, isn't it? You can't bet against your own team.
It's the hope that kills you. But anyway, get your comments in the chat too, and thank you everyone for the super chats. I'll just read out a couple before we end the show. Travelbug says Antony has had a very average game, and people think it's great. That's how low the bar is. Umar said there's no way we move on. Somebody has to fall on the sword. Onana or Erik ten Hag. Standards so low. Fourth below Galatasaray and Copenhagen. Apologise. It's okay.
It's like overreaction, but
Graham says,
we move on.
Didn't Martial duck out for the free kick? Yeah. Gareth Southgate says, hope you don't get Europa League because Onana cannot save that ball either. Joshua says, this Onana howler has been part and parcel of his career. Go and watch him at Ajax, no excuses. Sashi says, got to hold 2 L's with the goalkeeper. And Lumen says, don't have to apologise, but you made the wrong call replacing the keeper that won the Golden Glove. I made the call.
Blame Beth.
Hashtag blame Beth.
I made the call, guys.
Yeah.
All your decision.
Yeah,
I remember that time when you rang Dave up, it was heartbreaking, and you said, Dave,
I've got some news for you, Dave.
We're going to have to let you go.
I'm not even going to say what I was about to say because people...
Savage you
I can't say anything. Mahir says McTominay wouldn't start for Everton in midfield because he scores sometimes. We needed midfielders that do the job of a midfielder, not an attacker.
Spot on.
Anthony Tracy's... I've done that one. Our Champions League games have been end-to-end, no midfield. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats all the way through the show. Make sure you hit a like on the video if you haven't already. And just thank you for sticking with us on the therapy forum. I'm going off social media for a while, so I'll see you on the next show. I think we're doing a call-in show tomorrow.
Is it?
I mean, yeah, I think so.
Fun.
So
more therapy.
See you on the call-in show tomorrow for therapy. Thank you, Mordzs, AA, Kev.
Thank you.
And enjoy the rest of your evening, guys.